Okay, so I came across this post on Facebook and it got me thinking. I've seen it before, but for some reason the past few days it's really got me thinking. And I kind of wanted to share about it because it relates to at least part of the symptom with my anxiety, one of the ways my anxiety comes across. And kind of why I think, too, a lot of people don't talk about it. And why we've not just reached a stigma, but, a lack of admitting it, a lack of admitting it. Yeah. And kind of acknowledging it and kind of seeing it for what it is. Beyond and just the different levels of it, and that's one of the things too with high functioning anxiety is what I would classify what I have as too, just based on what I've learned from other people, and that definitely factors into to this. So the post on Facebook says, "Your terrible job is the dream of every unemployed. Your house is the dream of every homeless. Your smile is the dream of the depressed. Your health is the dream of the ill. Your lifestyle is the dream of somebody else. Don't let difficult times make you forget your blessings." So, as true as all of those statements may be, it also, for me, looking on it, it's like, it kind of follows you've got it good, as there's somebody else in the world has it better or has it worse than you, so why are you complaining, type of thing. And that's not good. That's kind of what causes a lot of issues and a lot of mental health things. I see it, you see it in the news with depression. And it's just, again, speaking for myself though, with anxiety, that's one of the things, I want to remember the blessings, and I'm thankful for what I have. I'm very fortunate. I'm a Canadian, born in this day and age, in this part of the world. There's, I understand my privilege that a lot of people don't have, and I do take that into consideration. But it makes it hard to acknowledge when I'm struggling. So recently my car got vandalized, and, so minor, even in my own personal life of struggles, that's such a minor issue, like, I have a car, you have, your car was vandalized, yeah, but you still have a car, it's still drivable, that type of count your blessings type of thing. Yes. And, even for me, I have my physical health, a lot of people know battles that I've been going through with family members' health, friends' health, and kind of how that's affected everything. So, even in that sense, those struggles, a car passenger mirror being broken is like, but it was just, and they're saying the straw that broke the camel's back. And, it just was that last thing. And I ended up having it, the night it happened, I had to go to a church council meeting. And I ended up breaking down. The first part of the meeting, I didn't want, other people on the council came up and gave me a hug. I did not want them anywhere near me. I was moody. It was another thing going wrong in my life. And, don't let difficult times make you forget your blessings. Yes. But that's where we all have struggle, and it's if we don't acknowledge those struggles, then we can't move on. I've since moved on from the car thing, because yes, it is minor, and even, as I said, even in my life, it's minor, but I had to have that acknowledgement. Luckily, most of the people there, they were very, like, they left me alone. They didn't say, "Oh, that's nothing, Jessica. Your car is broken." and 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 I think that was the difference. It wasn't, they acknowledged that at that particular moment, that particular issue was something that I was struggling with, something that was an issue. And I think that's the problem. If something is going on, I'm one of those people that, I'm very thankful, and constantly it's like, hey, every time I want to complain about something, it's like, yeah, you know what? Somebody has it worse. I mean, a perfect example of that, with struggling with what my mom's going through in her health. And I look back at a friend. I lost a friend a few years ago, and her child won't remember her. She was too young to remember her. And I think, well, at least, whatever happens with my mom, I have all these years, all these decades of memories with her, and nobody will, and I'll be able to remember it. But having that doesn't take away, just because she's not going to remember her mom, might be a bigger issue, doesn't take away from my struggles anymore. And it needs to, whatever's going on, it just needs to be acknowledged. That's the biggest thing. Telling somebody else has it worse, to me, is such a harmful phrase, because most people know that what they're going through is not the worst thing in the world, that other people do have it worse. So hearing that from somebody when all they're looking for in that moment is support, and just, let them feel what they need to feel. Let them be there for them. It's like, okay, I'm here for you. Say what you need to say. Let's deal with this. Let's talk about it. Whatever needs to happen in this moment, we'll deal with it. Because that's, yeah, because, yeah, just, it feels, when somebody says that phrase, speaking from personal experience, it just feels like a throw off isn't the right word. I can't think of what it is now. But it's just, it's undermining what it feels like they don't care. And I know for somebody like me, if somebody says that to me, I shut down, and that's not good. You don't want somebody to shut down, because talking is one of the greatest strengths that there is. And that's kind of, I think, too, why it's just because if somebody trusts you, feeling vulnerable sucks. Opening up about your vulnerability sucks. Every time I say something about, my anxiety, part of it feels good because it's like, okay, I'm taking a step forward, but I know that there's always that fear of being rejected or being blown off, or not having your feelings count, and telling somebody else has it better or worse than them, that's exactly what that's doing. And I'm repeating myself now, but, and I don't know, I mean, this will probably come up in maybe a future video, in some way. If anybody wants to comment on it, feel free. Has any more questions, feel free. But yeah, it's one of those things that we just need to acknowledge feelings and acknowledge what's going on, because, again, it might, yes, somebody, heck, that person may be going through something else that's worse, may have gone through something else that's worse. But at that moment, like my broken passenger side mirror, that is what is causing issues. And whatever it was, and in my case, part of it was I was holding on to all these feelings that I was feeling before the mirror, all the other stresses, all the other things that were going on that bothered me. So it was just the broken mirror was the catalyst that was able to be like, let it all out. It was just like the last, as I said earlier, the straw that broke the camel's back. So you never know what might cause that. And I the word's breakdown, but I don't like that word breakdown, because that's not what it is. It's holding, and I saw a quote too. It's holding, when a strong person holding on to their feelings and closing off their feelings for so long that it just builds and builds and builds, and it just can't be can't be held in anymore. Like the carbonation, when you shake up a pop bottle and it explodes and goes all over the place. That pressure just builds and builds and builds, and that's not good. Reaching that state is not good, and part of the cause, I think, of reaching that state is being told other people have it worse, and not acknowledging what's going on in the moment and what we as individuals are struggling with, because we all struggle with something, and it doesn't matter who we are or where we are in life, or where we are in our own personal journey. We struggle with something, and how people react to that has a lot to deal with how we're going to come out of that situation. And I don't feel like most people think that their situation is the worst. They're just struggling to deal with that particular moment, what they're dealing with. And yeah, so yeah, I'm sure this will come up at some other point, because it does seem to be like a running, a consistent thread through a lot of other issues, of what I've experienced with anxiety, and what I think I will continue to face. So it wouldn't surprise me if it comes up in another video. So yeah, there's my thoughts on that subject for today. Okay, good night.